Hogwarts Legacy is shaping up to be one of the most chaotic and extreme launch controversies that we have ever seen in gaming. As you've probably seen online, Hogwarts Legacy has an ongoing boycott. This led to targeting of those who play the game, including you, yes, you watching this video. There's a decent chance that somebody is going to try and spoil Hogwarts Legacy for you. And although we've seen a lot of that type of stuff with controversial media releases in the past, with Hogwarts Legacy things are evolving to an even different level. There are different media outlets fighting with each other, and even the developers themselves responding to some of this controversy and creating even more controversy for themselves. The cornerstone of the Hogwarts Legacy controversy, as you probably have seen, is around certain comments made by J.K. Rowling. Many of these comments made in the past, but it's not an old thing. J.K. Rowling has largely continued to make and support these comments. And the reason this is relevant to Hogwarts Legacy is it's a Harry Potter game. J.K. Rowling created Harry Potter, owns the IP, and as a result, she'll likely be collecting royalties from the game sales, which in turn has led to some people out there not wanting to purchase Hogwarts Legacy for themselves, but it even goes a bit farther. As what we're really focusing on in this video is people not wanting others to play the game either, and especially some people not wanting others to even review Hogwarts Legacy. What type of payment J.K. Rowling is getting from Hogwarts Legacy isn't known publicly, and what type of bonus the developers could get from game sales also isn't known. As of right now, it's not even 100% clear if the developers do get a performance-based bonus on Hogwarts Legacy. But on Monday at around 6 a.m. Eastern Time, things hit a boiling point as Hogwarts Legacy reviews went live, and this game is getting some really good reviews. 91% of the open critic reviews recommend that you buy the game, and the average review score is an 86 right now. Does this mean Hogwarts Legacy is a better RPG than Fallout New Vegas? But even if you look at some of the lowest rated reviews for Hogwarts Legacy, they're still sitting at around a 7 out of 10, which is not that bad, especially when you consider the controversy with J.K. Rowling. But this review score is likely to change, and perhaps is even a bit biased right now. WB Games, the publisher of Hogwarts Legacy, was somewhat selective with who got review codes for this game. There are numerous large and notable gaming outlets like GameSpot, Kotaku, and Polygon who have not yet published reviews, and for some places this is going to be because they were refusing to review the game, but for quite a few other media outlets it seems like they just didn't actually get early review codes. And as of right now, it seems like one of the reasons that a place like PC Games N did get an early review code, while some place like GameSpot did not get an early review code, is because of what type of pre-release coverage they had on Hogwarts Legacy. Now, as of right now, this is largely just speculation. It's not like we actually know how WB Games is picking who gets a review code and who doesn't, but it definitely is interesting. Although, to actually kind of be a counter to that selective review code narrative, it wasn't all that selective, because there still are over 70 reviews on OpenCritic right now, which is quite a bit, especially when you consider a ton of other YouTubers did get review codes. But the major takeaway is that some major outlets out there didn't get review codes, and I would definitely expect this score to decline over time as more reviews from those outlets come out. But these reviews being so overwhelmingly positive on the game was also pretty interesting. You can find a ton of fans who fully expected bad reviews due to the controversy and were prepared to immediately ignore those reviews on release, but have now flip-flopped as a result of these reviews being so positive. But also several gaming journalists from other outlets who are heavily criticizing these reviews. Some journalists describing how the people who did review the game are making a personal moral sacrifice. There's a ton of allegations from fans about how these reviews are paid for by the publisher, and general allegations of publishers playing favorites here, and certain media outlets playing with that to actually continue to get early access and stay on a publisher's good side. The IGN review in particular is getting hammered, as it gave the game a 9 out of 10 despite pointing out several issues with it. This one review is getting hit so hard that not only has the reviewer actually taken to responding to some of the pushback on Twitter, but IGN overall did tweet a larger thread on how they actually pick who reviews a game. And IGN's getting it from the other side also. As a part of their glowing review for Hogwarts Legacy, they also did talk a bit about the J.K. Rowling controversy, and this too has received quite a bit of pushback from fans of the game, as well as some of the other media outlets who outright refuse to review the game are also getting a ton of negative fan feedback. As of right now, pretty much everywhere you look where there is a public conversation around Hogwarts Legacy, there is going to be craziness. All over Twitter, there is a ton of it, obviously, but the Hogwarts Legacy Discord is also getting hammered. Some are in there just talking about the game and their experience with it, others are trying to discuss the surrounding controversy, and even some of the responses to this by moderators on that Discord are getting highlighted on Twitter and getting articles published about them. There's now a viral clip of girlfriend reviews getting upset over the pushback they got while streaming the game.
I'm barely into the second combat here, and every time I look at chat, it's just, the conversation is just like,
maybe we can do like
bothering me.
Be right back. Like a little break or something.
You can take a break if you want. I'll just stop talking and I'll just go fight and do the combat.
You've probably seen that one already. There's definitely been a lot of support for them, but also some criticism. There are articles highlighting this and somewhat calling out what is happening here and describing how everyone who's covering this game right now is being bullied, but one side that is getting bullied is getting far more coverage overall. That article was published by The Gamer. The Gamer is an outlet that threatened to sue me after they stole my gameplay footage. Yeah, you heard that right. They threatened to sue me after stealing my gameplay footage and I copyright striked it. That happening in the past has absolutely nothing to do with this Hogwarts Legacy controversy. The person who wrote this article had absolutely nothing to do with my situation, but I still definitely hold a grudge against The Gamer overall. And this even extends to some of the devs as well as those involved with the game. The actor who voiced the male protagonist got a ton of pushback for his involvement and posted a response describing how he recorded his lines for Hogwarts Legacy over 3 years ago. Simon Pegg is getting a ton of pushback as it was revealed he is the voice for Headmaster Black, and the devs overall have really locked down their social media accounts for pretty obvious reasons. Although I would say the vast majority of this back and forth has been with media outlets and really major influencers or personalities. There's also some impacting smaller creators and just regular fans of the game. One user created a website to see if your Twitch streamer streamed Hogwarts Legacy, and then once you have this information, you can choose to do whatever you want with it. It definitely seems like this has led to some brigading, especially with smaller streamers, and some other influencers online have even remarked how they're going to cut ties with anyone who plays Hogwarts Legacy and covers it. And something that can impact you as just a typical fan, I've seen an effort on pretty much all social media platforms to spoil the game for fans. So basically people just coming in and posting endgame spoilers for Hogwarts Legacy in YouTube comments, on Discord, or even just on random Reddit posts. So as you go into the comments of this video, be careful. There's almost certainly going to be spoilers there, and although I'll try and remove them, they are pretty much all over YouTube at this point. And a big part of what makes this situation so insane is Hogwarts Legacy is very likely to be a massive success, which is only really adding fuel onto the fire in some ways. The game is getting glowing reviews not only from journalists, but also from fans who are playing and loving this game. There's no concrete numbers right now because it's still in the earlier release phase, but you have to imagine a couple of days as we do get the full release, it's going to be one of the top played games on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. And it seems like this has a decent chance at being the single largest video game release of 2023 overall. One of the few metrics we have to go on right now is over 1 million people watching concurrently on Twitch. Now, at the same time, there were drops turned on during this, so some people are watching just to get in-game items, but in general, there are a ton of people incredibly interested in Hogwarts Legacy, and you have to remember that, on one hand, this is still the early access period for the deluxe edition, but also even further down the line, this is coming to the last gen of consoles as well as the Nintendo Switch. If the Switch release is even halfway decent, I could see this blowing up even further. The controversies with Hogwarts Legacy is really around J.K. Rowling's involvement, at least at its core, but the game itself really seemed to have delivered for a lot of people. Unlike most other massive gaming controversies out there, this one doesn't have much to do with the actual content of the game and instead who was involved with it. Although everything in the game isn't quite perfect. As we've seen many fans get their hands on the game, there has definitely been some feedback, not all of which is positive. One of the pretty interesting issues to be brought up is the skin color of your character, or at least the skin color choices, in that you actually can't make your character pale enough. Even on the lightest skin color option, your character is still relatively dark, especially when you consider this game takes place in Scotland, where there are a fair few number of pale humans. There also is definitely some performance oddness on PC, the game randomly dropping huge amounts of FPS and then recovering when you're standing in the exact same spot. Hopefully the day one patch can address this somewhat. And one of the other big points of feedback is you can't easily pause cutscenes. Hogwarts Legacy has a lot of very long cutscenes. Not being able to pause them is definitely a downer. But honestly, those are the big ones. Those are the big pieces of feedback that are really negative that are being published online right now. It's not that bad. Even as tons of people have gotten their hands on this game already, a lot of people are loving it and really enjoying it. And I would largely put myself in that same boat. I think Hogwarts Legacy is a pretty good game. The early segments of the game are a little bit too on rail. It's definitely not the best RPG in the world. There's not a ton of player choice and consequence, but the combat and how interesting and dynamic it is just a really unique combat style, as well as how pretty this world is in Hogwarts Castle specifically really elevate the game and make up for some of the shortcomings on the other side. Far from a perfect game, but if you like open world RPGs, it definitely has some hours of fun in it. And one thing I want to end this video with is some of the comments made by the game's director. When asked about some of the controversies with this game, he does describe, "I think for us us, there are challenges in every game we've worked on. This game has been no different. When we bumped into those challenges, we went back and refocused on the stuff we really care about. We know our fans fell in love with the Wizarding World, and we believe they fell in love with it for the right reasons. We know that's a diverse audience. For us, it's making sure that the audience who always dreamed of having this game had the opportunity to feel welcomed back, that they have a home here and that it's a good place to tell their story. But overall, that's the update and the current situation with Hogwarts Legacy. I'm sure as the game gets full release and of course more of these reviews start to come out, this will evolve even further. But until next time, I thank you all again for watching and I hope to see you all later.